Alright everybody, it's time for my new top 25 roller coasters I have ridden. I've ridden many roller coasters since my last 25. My last 25 was in 2020. So I have been to Cedar Point, I've been to Six Flags Great Adventure, a couple other parks too. So yeah, I am absolutely excited for you guys to see my new top 25. So let's get straight into it. Starting off the list is a coaster I did not expect to be in here. This is the Coney Island Cyclone. I love this ride. It was absolutely insane. I really didn't expect it to be that great, but I rode in the very front row, and that first turn literally, yanked you to the side. It almost hurt. Actually, it did hurt. All the other turns had some pretty good laterals, too. It had some really good airtime, and the whole thing was really smooth. So I love this coaster. I couldn't really ask for much more. It's also really long. Number 24 is Maverick at Cedar Point. I like this ride a lot. I even love it, but I don't think it's as good as people say it is. A lot of people actually are saying this ride is better than Steel Vengeance in the same park, and I couldn't disagree more. This ride, it's really good, but I don't even think it's second best in the park, honestly. Number 23 is Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. I like this ride a lot. However, it was running really, really slow in 2022. I don't know what was wrong with it. I know it's a really good ride. That's why I didn't drop it out of my top 25. I know what this thing can do, but it was just not doing it for me in 2022. I really hope it's running better in 2023, because if it does that slow thing again, then I don't think I'll be able to keep it in my top 25. Number 22 is Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. This ride is very, very overhated. Not overrated, overhated. A lot of people just trash on this ride, say it's really forceless, and it's also just really rough. I do think it's rough. It's not smooth. It's just not. But I can look past that and see that it is really forceful. And yeah, it's just a really good ride overall. Number 21 is Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. A lot of people do not like Magnum because this is a rough ride. If you do not like rough rides, you will not like Magnum. However, I really like it, especially because of those airtime hills at the end. They're absolutely immaculate and insane. It almost hurts your thighs. I actually have bruises on my thighs because of this. I am one of the people who really like Magnum, though. Starting off the top 20, we have Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. This is their B&M Hyper Coaster. I absolutely love this ride. This is my second favorite B&M Hyper. I mean, what's not to love? It has so much floater airtime and actually some flowjector airtime. And yeah, I've had absolutely amazing rides on this. It's a GP magnet. It's an enthusiast magnet. What's not to love? One-upping Mako is Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. I absolutely adore this ride. It has so much ejector airtime. They market it as a family coaster, but that is absolutely untrue. I'm sure they made it to be a family coaster, but it is not a family coaster in the slightest. There are more thrill coasters everywhere that are less thrilling than Icebreaker. Number 18 is the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. A lot of people just give this ride complete crap and actually call it one of the worst roller coasters in the entire world. I couldn't disagree more. It's one of my favorite roller coasters. You get to choose your music. It's actually not that rough. I mean, it is kind of rough, but I don't really care. The airtime going up to the mid-course brake runs makes the loss of speed worth it, and you can't even get past that non-inverting loop. Number 17 is Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa. I flat out love this roller coaster. It is so intense. It's my second favorite B&M invert. I just love this ride. Make sure when you go to Busch Gardens, you check the refurbishment schedule because you cannot miss out on this classic B&M. Number 16 is the Incredible Hulk roller coaster. I think this is one of the most well-rounded roller coasters in the entire world. There are forces for everybody. There are many positive Gs. There's not much airtime, but there are some laterals in there too. It is remarkably smooth, especially because it is so old, although it did just get its big retrack. This ride is just so awesome. Number 15 is Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. I absolutely love this ride. It has so much airtime. I really do not think they could have done any better at the layout that they had to work with. Number 14 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point, the original Giga roller coaster. I love this roller coaster so much. It is remarkably smooth for how old it is. It was built in 2000, so that's absolutely amazing. It's butter smooth, especially in the front. In the back, it has the slightest vibration, but it does not impact the ride in the slightest. I actually got to ride this ride in the rain in the front row, so that was insane. Number 13 is Kingda Ka, the world's tallest roller coaster. I was a little worried going into this roller coaster. I really thought it was going to be rough, but it wasn't. It was buttery smooth up front. It did definitely have a shimmy in the back row, but I can get past that. Just ride in any car except the back and you'll be fine, honestly. Also, the launch sound on this roller coaster is absolutely amazing. You got to hear it. This may be a surprise to some people. Coming in at number 12 is going to be Lightning Rod at Dollywood. I love this ride to pieces. However, it is really a shadow of its former self. How it used to run in 2016 is just not how it runs and now. I really wish they could find a way to keep this ride reliable, but also keep it running fast. Because right now, it's just not running really fast. It is more reliable than it used to be, but it's just running really slow this year, and I had to drop it. I think if they made all iBox tracks and then got rid of the trim brake at the top of the thing and also sped up the launch again, I think this ride could climb back in my top 5, potentially. Number 11 is Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. I love this ride. Actually, the first time I ever rode it, I really didn't like it at all. I didn't even have it in my top 50. Now, I am about ready to crown it as a top 10 roller coaster. Not quite yet, but oh my god. This ride has straight up projector airtime for a B&M Hyper. This is my favorite B&M Hyper. And then I've blacked out before. This is actually the only roller coaster I've legitimately almost passed out on. Coming in at number 10 is Fear 325 at Carowinds. I will always have a soft spot for this roller coaster, as it was my first ever number 1 roller coaster, and it stayed with me for a while as my number 1. But I did have to come to the fact that there are roller coasters that are better than it, and we're about to see some of them right here. Number 9 is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure. I want to get a couple things out of the way before I bash this roller coaster. So, I absolutely love this ride to death. The theming is absolutely amazing. The ride experience is amazing. The top hat is great. The Mosasaurus roll is the best inversion I have experienced. I love all the airtime in the first half. However, it is not the best roller coaster in the world. I don't understand how just a couple of airtime moments in the first half, a launch, and then a top hat automatically makes you say this partway through the ride.
Oh my gosh, this is the best ride I've ever ridden. Out of 300 and something coasters.
Number 8 is Thunderhead at Dollywood. I love this ride to bits. Most people don't like this ride as much as I do. I am like Thunderhead fanboy. I have this ride in my top 10. Where do I start? This ride is so intense. It has positives, which is insane for a wooden roller coaster. It has airtime all over the place. And it overall just has a very welcoming atmosphere to the ride. And it's just something I cannot get enough of. And it's overall just one of my favorite rides I've ever ridden. If I could put this higher, I would, but there's just no room. Number 7 is Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. What I would like to call this is a bigger, much bigger version of Icebreaker at Sea Orlando. And I love that ride. The fact that this goes 70 miles per hour over its switch track is absolutely insane and literally makes it feel like it is trying to eject you from the train laterally and vertically. That is why I think this ride is better than Velocicoaster by a long shot. Number 6 is the Jersey Devil roller coaster. When I rode this ride, I loved it so much. I didn't think it'd be top 6, but when I rode it for the last time, oh my god, I love this ride. I actually thought I wasn't gonna like this ride a lot because I've heard it has a lot of pacing issues. In this video, it definitely looks like it does, but I guess I just caught it on a really good day, and the trims were not hitting. It was running really fast, and it was just running amazing. So I'm low-key scared to go back to ruin it. Starting off the top 5, we have Alpengeist to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This ride is so intense. The Cobra Roll especially is probably the most intense element I've ever experienced. Definitely the most whippy element I've ever experienced. The rest of the ride is just as intense. If you can't tell, I absolutely love this ride. And somebody actually said having a B&M invert as the best ride at your park is actually horrible. But you should check back for this ride. Number 4 is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This ride is definitely had its ups and downs through the past couple years with its accidents and everything. But at the end of the day, this ride is absolutely awesome. When it comes to the first drop, the first couple airtime hills, the rolling Thunderhill, you have a really strong airtime-focused ride with also a ton of positive Gs in the pullouts. Number 3 is Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. This is by far the world's most intense roller coaster without a doubt. It was actually recalled the year it was built, and they had to reprofile the first turn because it pulled, I believe, about 5 Gs for about 5 seconds. Now it pulls like 5 Gs for 3 seconds, but that is still insane. It's also got those twist and snaps, which are insane. 3 of them back to back, and then 1 right at the end of the ride where you least expect it. This ride is just all around bonkers, and it was my favorite roller coaster for a long time, as was the next roller coaster on this list. Number 2 is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. I love this ride to pieces, and I'm going to explain myself here. So, yeah, I love this ride. It has everything you could want in a coaster. It has airtime. It has a little bit of theming. It has positives all over the place. Not very good ones, but it is scattered throughout the entire ride. It does have laterals all the time, especially during that little stall. However, the quality of the airtime is a little bit not so great. It is very long and drawn out. A lot of it is flowjector, which is my main problem. I did ride a roller coaster on spring break of 2022 that I do think is the better ride, and it has much stronger airtime, and it really comes down to quality over quantity. And coming in at number 1, my favorite roller coaster of all time is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Wow. Okay, I had bruises on my thighs after this day. I did at Cedar Point too, but that was from Magnum and Steel Vengeance. This was just this because this is basically the only coaster in the park that has airtime. Well, good airtime. Where do I even start? The first drop in the back is absolutely amazing. The death roll is one of the best elements I've ever experienced. I mean, overall, just look at this thing go through the layout. It absolutely zooms through its course like there is no tomorrow, and it's just absolutely amazing to be on that thing, and that is why it is my favorite roller coaster I have ever experienced. My next top 25 roller coasters I have ridden will be at the end of 2023 or very early 2024, and expect this list to change a lot because we have a ton of new, really good-looking rides coming for 2023 that I cannot wait to get on. And I'll also ride a bunch of new roller coasters that I just haven't ridden yet. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comment section below. I'd love to read your comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, as that helps the channel greatly against the YouTube algorithm. And guys, as always, until next time, I will see you in the next video.